Hey guys, Dentist Jess here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, this is where I talk about all things oral mouth health related. If you've been here before or you've watched my other videos, thanks for coming back. It's great to have you here. Today, I'm going to talk about that lovely topic of bad breath. No, but for real, guys, if you have a hot date coming up or maybe you have a big business meeting, what are some things that you can do to try and prevent bad breath? So stick around. Okay, I'm going to give you a list today of the top 10 things that you can do to help avoid or prevent bad breath. We're going to go from the least common up to kind of more most common, so make sure you stick around to the end to hear the number one thing that you can do to help prevent bad breath. So let's dive right in. Number 10, the first thing that you can do to start avoiding or trying to prevent bad breath is to limit your exposure to sugary foods or carbonated drinks, both of which can dry out our mouth. They can be pretty acidic and they can have a high bacterial load that can actually cause us to have bad breath. Not to mention, it can also lead to getting dental decay and cavities, but it also can cause bad breath. So avoid sugary foods, avoid acidic things, avoid carbonated beverages. That's gonna help a lot to cut that bad breath. Number 9, so I'm counting down, number 9 is to stop mouth breathing. This is something that's actually really big. If you are a mouth breather, especially with wearing masks right now with COVID, they're finding COVID mouth is a real thing. People are wearing the mask, you're breathing with your mouth open because you're feeling like you can't get as much air, and it can really cause bad breath. So try as hard as you can to keep breathing through your nose. I know that I have tried recently doing some mouth taping on myself just to try it out so that I'm not breathing with my mouth open at night. It can be a big help. So if you want actually more info on mouth taping or mouth breathing or the benefits to breathing through your nose, comment below, because if I have some feedback on that, I would love to make some videos for you guys. Just let me know if you're interested in learning more about mouth breathing and how it can be linked to causing bad breath, but it definitely is one of those ones up there that is important to try and stop doing if you are breathing through your mouth. Number 8 is to moisten your mouth. So this means drinking a lot of water, making sure after you're eating, you're drinking a lot of water. It's also important if you live in a really, really dry climate. I know in the winters here, we get really, really cold and dry, so it's important to have a humidifier in your room, something to help moisten your mouth. Also, in between meals, if you're finding your mouth is getting really dry, you can chew sugar-free gum. I always recommend gum with xylitol. Super important. It helps. It has many benefits, but it can help buffer the acids in your mouth. It can help to flush out that bacteria. It can stimulate saliva, so it's really good, and it'll help to keep your mouth moistened. Lots of saliva, a nice moist mouth is going to help decrease that bad breath smell. Number 7 is to see your dentist regularly. So going in for dental checkups and regular dental cleanings will decrease your bacterial load overall, which is going to help decrease your chances of having bad breath. So making sure that you're getting in on your 6 months for getting your teeth cleaned, unless you've been told to go even more frequent, in which case then it's important to do that too. And then making sure to see your dentist to make sure that there's nothing else going on in your mouth is going to be really, really important. Guys, keep in mind that a lot of the time the bacteria that cause cavities are infectious, so especially if you're going on a hot date, maybe it's time to pop into your dentist and make sure that everything is all good and in tip-top shape. You don't want to have bad breath on that first impression, so make sure you go see your dental health professional. Number 6, after you finish eating, and I tell this to a lot of my patients who struggle with dry mouth or who have high risk of cavities, make sure to chew on xylitol gum, or you can use xylitol mints. The nice thing about gum is it stimulates that chewing motion, which kind of helps to stimulate saliva. Again, the xylitol itself it helps to trigger that saliva flow, which releases bicarbonate ion, which will buffer the acidity of the food that we're eating. It is actually anti-cavity. Basically, the bacteria that use, or they think that they can use it as a sugar, but they can't. They end up getting stuck, and so they can't cause cavities. It helps to increase that saliva flow. It helps to wash off all of our teeth. So after you have a meal, making sure to chew on a piece of xylitol gum just until it loses the flavor. You don't want to do it forever. We don't want to cause problems for our jaw, but just for that little bit while it still has that flavor in it, make sure to chew it, and then when you're done, spit it out. It will help though with bad breath for sure. Number 5 is for anyone who smokes. If you are watching this and you are smoking and you are concerned about bad breath, just stop. I know that's not the easiest thing. There's different medications out there. You can get counseling, tobacco cessation programs, but make sure that you talk to your physician, talk to your dental health provider about your wanting to stop smoking. It's gonna make a big difference. Tobacco can leave staining on our teeth. It coats our tongues. You can get something called a hairy tongue where it kind of overgrows and there's all this stuff, or coated tongue. Different things like that are gonna be linked to it. You're also at way higher risk for getting oral cancers. Oral cancer is still in the top 10 cancers worldwide, and one of the main things that can cause it is smoking. So if you are smoking, I strongly urge you to try and stop. It will definitely help you to get rid of your bad breath if you are smoking. Number 4 is to avoid some of those really, really smelly foods like garlic or onions. Now, I am a big garlic fan. I love cooking with garlic. It tastes great, but it can make your breath smell. So if you have something big or important coming up, you might want to avoid them for a little bit. What they found is that it actually gets into your bloodstream and you're actually breathing out the smell out of your lung tissue. So if you've got something important and you don't want to smell like garlic, maybe lay off the garlic for a few days beforehand. Number 3, this one I think is pretty important that we don't always talk about. We talk about brushing, we talk about flossing, but scraping your tongue or brushing your tongue, making sure that you're cleaning your tongue is really important to get rid of bad breath. All of the times this bacteria can get stuck up in the little folds and the little papilla on our tongue, and we have food in there. So keeping it nice and clean means cleaning it once a day. That's a big one, guys, for getting rid of your bad breath, is to clean your tongue. So I actually have an example here. This is a tongue scraper and it looks kind of funny. I will show you how to use it, but basically you just want to go at the back of your tongue and you're going to scrape down and out, and you will see all of the stuff that was built up on your tongue is going to come right out with it. You want to rinse it off, and then you can do it a couple times if you need to. If you don't have a tongue scraper, you can use your toothbrush. I showed how to do that in the video on how to brush your teeth. You got to stick around to the end to see that one, but it actually shows you how to brush your tongue and how to do it properly. So making sure that you're cleaning up your tongue really going to make a big difference in preventing bad breath. Number 2 is use a mouthwash. Now, I don't use a mouthwash right after I brush my teeth typically, because I actually like to let the toothpaste sit on the teeth for a little while. But if you have one with you on the go, if you're having a coffee in the morning, maybe after you get to work, having a mouthwash to rinse with afterwards will help decrease the bacteria in your mouth. It will also help to prevent that bad breath. If you have dry mouth, or if you're struggling from dry mouth, I would recommend doing a mouthwash that doesn't contain alcohol, because it does actually make your symptoms worse if you are struggling with dry mouth or if you're on medications that can cause it. So if that's the case, just make sure to look for one of the ones that's alcohol free. But mouthwash is a great thing for when you're on the go and you want to rinse out your mouth, and you just had something to eat, or you're at a restaurant and you want to rinse it afterwards. It's not a supplement for brushing and flossing. We still need to make sure we're doing that twice a day, but it is a good thing to have on hand to help rinse and keep your mouth clean and smelling great. Finally, the number one thing that you can do, number 1, to prevent bad breath is good oral hygiene. I know it sounds kind of cliche. I'm a dentist telling you to brush and floss your teeth, but seriously, if you want to have good oral hygiene, or if you want to have good breath, you have to have good oral hygiene. The two go hand in hand. Having bacteria and food and plaque stuck in between your teeth, even if you're brushing your tongue, it's still gonna give you that bad breath smell. It just is. If you have periodontal disease, or you've ever been diagnosed with that, the gum disease where your bone is affected, it's gonna be super, super important to see your dentist regularly, get your teeth cleaned, or your hygienist regularly, have them clean them. But it's gonna be super important to brush and floss properly at home. So if you don't know how to do that, make sure to check out my other videos. I have one on how to brush. I have another one on how to floss, so make sure to check those out. If you have any questions on anything I've talked about today, please comment below. I would love to hear from you. If there's anything that you like using when you're trying to get rid of bad breath, comment below. Tell me what works for you. Also, don't forget to check me out on Instagram. I have an Instagram account, jess.dentist. Make sure that you subscribe so you can get more of these fun videos, and comment below, like it, ring the bell, and share with your family and friends. I love being able to teach you guys. That's what I'm here for. So, till next time.